Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called Finland Explained. It's by the channel Geopolled. I've watched one of their videos for another country before and it was very interesting, very funny. Let's check out. I think it kind of plays on like the stereotypes of the country it's talking about. But yeah, you can tell me what you think about this video.
The land of 188,000 lakes, advanced bear repellent techniques, warm and cozy sleeping conditions, civilized sports,
oh my god, bro.
Stable politics.
Finns switching political sides every 4 years because they are bored because they live in Finland. Yeah, tell me what you think about politics in Finland. Is that an interesting subject I should learn more about? Who are the main political parties? Do people change political parties so easy? I mean, that's actually a good thing that people change political parties as opposed to somewhere like America where people are so ingrained in one side or the other that they don't care what their own party does. They'll just blindly always vote for that party. I like when people are more open and they can change their political party based on who's the best at that time. Maybe that's what that means. Or maybe, yeah, I'm not too sure. Tell me more about that.
Informative instructional videos, a terrifying military, harsh prison sentences.
There are no cell blocks here, just dormitories. Inmates come and go in their own cars.
Multi-purpose inventions, varied and diverse scenery, lucrative hustle opportunities, and €10 beers, which aren't even full pints. You also can't buy alcohol in a shop after 9 PM. You can't go to pubs or clubs if you're under the age of 20, and you can't get any spirits if you're under 22.
Yeah, tell me more about that. Is that true? Does it really cost €10 for a beer? I know that in Northern Europe, there is a reputation for things like beer and just going out and enjoying yourself can be a lot more expensive than many other places in Europe. Is that a fair assumption or a fair thing to say? Does beer cost that much money?
Extremely strict alcohol laws here. Makes you wonder how Finns manage to be some of the most lathered, obliterated, drunk people in the world. Yeah, all Scandinavian countries kind of see Finns as their insane redneck alcoholic neighbors. A perfect example of this is the show Dudesons, a group of Finnish stuntmen who created one of my favorite childhood shows, probably most of which I can't even show on this platform, but I'd highly recommend it if you're trying to get a grasp on Finnish culture. The names of these guys.
Nice. I've never actually seen that before. Is that like a Jackass type show? The Dudesons? Is that popular outside of Finland? Did you used to watch it?
Well, Jukka, Jarno, Jarpi, and Hannu, which is pretty funny because that's a relatively accurate representation of how the Finnish language sounds.
Lentokonesuihku turbinimoottori apumekaanikko aliupseerioppilas epäjärjestelmällistyttämättömyydellään säkkään puheen.
Finnish.
Is that really 2 words? What was that translating there?
Finnish is one of the Uralic languages, making it similar to Estonian and randomly Hungarian, which you'll be glad to know is an extremely easy language to learn.
Hungarian is how people would speak if they spoke in computer code.
The Finnish
Yeah, I already learned about the Finnish language, but I find it like a very interesting language. Definitely very unique. I mean, alongside Estonia, I know there's similarities there, but in the grand scale of the world, it's very unique, and I enjoy it. I think it sounds great.
Language originates from Siberians who crossed the Ural Mountains around 10,000 years ago. Some of them settled on Russia's western coastline, some of them formed a kingdom in Central Europe, and some of them settled on the eastern Baltic coastline. This is one of the factors that really separates Finland from Scandinavia. By the way, if you call a Finn Scandinavian, they will violently bludgeon your head off with an axe, which is pretty ironic since all the signs in Finland are also written in Swedish, and it's mandatory to learn Swedish in school.
That is interesting that there is that close relationship there between Sweden and Finland. Tell me, if you're from Finland, what do you think about Sweden? What are some funny stereotypes about Sweden? How is that relationship? And yeah, how do you feel if someone calls you Scandinavian? I guess I'm from Scotland. It's probably like, and I live in Asia, so when I speak to people, they always ask, am I English? I guess it's probably similar to that to an extent.
You guys can keep these. I don't really want to claim that nasty
looks
shit,
good,
man.
man.
I went to both Helsinki and Tampere a couple weeks ago, and honestly, they were too clean. Suspiciously clean. I did not see one unironed shirt in Finland. I did not see one decaying building. I did not see one speck of uncleanliness in the whole country. It was a bit too tidy, you know. Made me wonder.
Is Finland that clean? From those ones, it looked remarkable. It did really look remarkably clean. I think this person speaking is from the UK, so we're used to the place being a lot more messy, just being in the cities and towns, rubbish everywhere. But Finland looks like a very beautiful place in that respect.
Right, listen. Finland is not a real country. There is actually no landmass there at all, and the space between Sweden and Russia is actually open ocean. I would ask you to approach the evidence I put forward here with an open mind. Firstly, Gorbachev made trips to Japan months before the fall of the Soviet Union. They shared a common secret, a common asset that worked in both of their favors, and that asset was Finland. The necessity of Finland is quite simple. Japan can fish in the ocean between Sweden and Russia without worry for repercussions. After all, nobody's going to expect fishing regulations to be broken in a place where there's a so-called landmass. Will they? And in return, Russia gets a percentage of the fish to distribute amongst their population. The fish caught by the Japanese is then transported across Russia. That was the real reason of the construction of the Trans-Siberian Railway, by the way, and then shipped from Vladivostok to Japan under the disguise of Nokia products. This is why Japan is the largest importer of Nokia products, despite the fact that very few people own Nokia phones in the country.
I'm Finnish. Yes, this audio. Who are they? I not exist.
I have never heard that conspiracy theory. I've actually heard the conspiracy theory that Australia doesn't exist. That sounds interesting. I might need to check if there's a video about that, if it's actually a true conspiracy theory. Have you ever heard of that before? Yeah, it's obviously mad.
You are actually West Russian or East Swedish, I'm sorry to tell you this. Helsinki is located in eastern Sweden. It's not like the people flying there would notice. And that's why every f***ing road sign and every bus stop and every train announcement, they always have to say the Swedish version. That's because it's in Sweden. What? What's the alternative? They're a bunch of riders that can't let go of the Swedish language, you know?
Whether it's real or fake, honestly, aside from downing hot dogs and steaming in saunas, there's not a whole lot to do in this country, which leads me on to my final and main tip for anyone visiting Finland. Go to Estonia.
Hell nah, where we at?
Finland! Goodbye, Finland!
God bless.
What is that drink, man? That looks tasty. Tell me more about that. Yeah, tell me about Estonia. If you're from Finland, have you been there before? Do you go there regularly? What's it like? How does Estonia compare to Finland?
I reckon that's
Estonia, you know.
Estonia's
Yeah, and let's see what else we got.
Leo.
Yeah, very funny, man. Again, like very interesting look at different countries. In this case, Finland, playing on or talking about those stereotypes, talking about that relationship between not just Sweden but also Russia, Estonia. Tell me what you think about this if you're from Finland. Does any of that? Do you relate to any of that was mentioned on that video? Very interesting. Thanks for watching.